Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. So yeah, in this video I'm going to be talking about my top 15 favourite movies from the year 2000. Yeah, the turn of the millennium, another great decade for movies. I'm going to be talking about the next 10 years in this block of videos for October. And yeah, starting with 2000, another great year for movies, another difficult year to try and compile a list of 15 movies. So many great ones for me that didn't make the list. Guy Ritchie's Snatch, Best in Show, Christopher Nolan's Memento. Yeah, just didn't make the list for me. But as always, I'm going to leave a full list down below of honourable mentions. Some stinkers in there as well that I did find entertaining. But that being said as well, all the movies I've chosen here are in accordance with the release dates from IMDb. They all have the year 2000 against their name. And again, this is just my personal favourite list. These are just the 15 movies I enjoy the most from the year 2000. Your list that you compile as well is going to be different, and I'll be interested to hear it down below. So yeah, that being said, going to kick it off with number 15. So coming in at number 15 for me, we have Meet the Parents, Ben Stiller and Robert De Niro. This is just a classic comedy about meeting your in-laws for the first time and trying to fit in and trying to get along. And yeah, it's just absolutely hilarious, this movie. I think Stiller and De Niro have amazing chemistry in this film. Sometimes you think they're getting along, sometimes you don't. Everything just goes, you know, tits up in this movie for him. Even when you think he's getting along and he's fitting in, it all just manages to somehow backfire, and it's just a great comedy. Absolutely brilliant, and I love the ending of this film as well. So yeah, coming in at number 15 for me, we have Meet the Parents. So coming in at number 14, we have Final Destination. Just a great horror slasher movie, this one, to kick off the 2000s, and kind of changing things up a little bit as well, with the killer being death itself, and how you can cheat death or try to cheat death and just fail absolutely miserably. This movie has some of the most creative kills I've ever seen in a movie. Just absolutely phenomenal. Really, really great stuff for the gorehounds in this one. And this movie has an opening that you will never ever forget. It will probably put you off flying for life. If it doesn't, it will come very, very close. And that's a testament to the movie because it's doing its job. It makes boarding a plane absolutely terrifying. And yeah, it's just a fun, creative slasher movie that kicks off the 2000s. Absolutely brilliant, this one for me. So yeah, coming in at number 14, we have Final Destination. So coming in at number 13 for me, we have Tom Hanks in Robert Zemeckis' Castaway. Yeah, coming in at number 13 for me, quite low on the list, this one, but yeah, there's just a 12 more movies I enjoy more than this one. But it's still really good. It follows Tom Hanks, obviously, who is, you know, this character who's pretty much got everything going for him. He's got a wife, he's got a great job working for FedEx, and yeah, he ends up on this plane which crash lands on this island, and he'd be stuck there for a number of years, and he creates this amazing character, Wilson, just this volleyball who you just absolutely connect with, and they have this heartbreaking parting in the movie. And yeah, it's just all of that stuff on the island that makes the movie. It's just so great, and it's got a really, really interesting ending, which I won't dare spoil here. But yeah, it's just a really, really good, you know, solo movie, kind of character driven, you know, with Hanks at the helm, and it just really, really works. So yeah, that is my number 13 pick, Castaway. So coming in at number 12 for me, we have Mel Gibson in The Patriot. Just a fantastic movie about the, well, not so much about, but set during the Revolutionary War. And yeah, it's pretty much follows Mel Gibson. All he wants to do is leave his sort of past as a soldier behind him. He's vowed never to fight again. And the war brings itself to his front door, quite literally. And he has no choice but to get involved. This movie has one of the best villains that you love to see get his comeuppance in Jason Isaacs. He is a horrible little piece of shit in this movie. Absolutely despicable. And the ending to this movie is so satisfying. Jason Isaac kills it as this villain in this movie. He is the main, you know, the main course of the movie for me. He's just absolutely wonderful, chewing it up. You love to hate him. He's absolutely despicable, and you just absolutely root for Mel Gibson in this movie. Yeah, just a great war film, great setting, love the characters. It's heartbreaking at times, and yeah, it's just a great movie. So yeah, that is my next pick, The Patriot. So coming in at number 11 for me, we have the Coens, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Yeah, just a great retelling, modernised, but not in the modern day, retelling of Homer's Odyssey. And yeah, it's just a great movie. There's some aspects to this film that look absolutely gorgeous. Particularly the stuff, controversially, with the KKK in this movie. That scenery just looks gorgeous, despite, you know, using it to display a group of horrible idiots, in my opinion. But yeah, it just looks absolutely breathtaking. The whole movie does, to be honest. The soundtrack is great, the characters are great. These three leads that escape prison, go on this adventure, it's just absolutely wonderful. John Goodman's great in there as well. And yeah, the soundtrack is just absolutely wonderful. That song, Man of Constant Sorrow, is just an earworm. It just won't leave you for days after watching this film. And yeah, I just absolutely love this film, and I just think it's great. So just missing out on the top 10, we have the Coens, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? So cracking into the top 10 now, coming in at 10th place, we have Steven Soderbergh's Traffic. This is another one of those movies for me that doesn't have a plot, and I can't explain why I like it. It's very, very character driven. It jumps from scene to scene, and the movie just has this absolutely exceptional look about it, and this amazing cast. Michael Douglas, Don Cheadle, Benicio del Toro, Dennis Quaid, and of course Catherine Zeta-Jones. You've also got Topher Grace in there as well. It's just all of these episodic stories gelled together so well. And yeah, it's just an absolutely gritty movie I absolutely love. You just really feel the heat in this film. Amazing, you know, cinematography to it. It just looks absolutely gorgeous, and it's just a great crime drama. Absolutely love this one. Love the acting in it. It's just top notch. Everyone's at the top of their game. Topher Grace is just kind of the big surprise for me in this film. Just really, really, you know, showed off his talent in this movie, in my opinion. But so does everyone else. But he was the real surprise for me, the real standout. But yeah, I just have a great time with this film. So that is my number 10 pick, Traffic. So coming in at number 9 for me is a British gangster movie that I just, yeah, this movie blew me away when I first saw it. And it is Sexy Beast, starring Ray Winstone and Ben Kingsley. Yeah, just this great movie about this retired safecracker played by Ray Winstone, who's brought back in, well, is pretty much attempted to have been brought back in by this character called Don Logan, played by Ben Kingsley. The performance by Ben Kingsley in this movie is just so alien to me. He's doing in this movie what I've never seen actors do in movies before. I don't know what it is. He is just absolutely wired and jacked in this film. He is terrifying. It's terrifying, the performance as well, just how good it is. It's one of the best performances I've ever seen. Completely robbed at the Oscars, in my opinion. He is so unhinged, unpredictable, terrifying. This is a guy you don't say no to easily. He's just unhinged, terrifying. And it kind of takes away from the rest of the cast of this movie. You've got a great cast of characters here. Amanda Redman, Ian McShane, and of course Ray Winstone himself. They're all delivering great performances, but the standout for me is Ben Kingsley. If you want to see an unhinged performance, check out Sexy Beast. He is just terrifying at the top of his A game for me, but it's just a great British gangster movie as well. So yeah, that is my number 9 pick, Sexy Beast. So coming in at number 8 for me, we have one of my favourite comedies, and that is Road Trip. Very much cut from the same cloth as American Pie. Hell, it's even got Sean William Scott in it as well. Really, really funny movie, this one, about these college kids. One of them is in a long-distance relationship, and he ends up cheating on his girlfriend with this other girl, videotaping the incident. and accidentally mailing it to his current girlfriend, as he sends her like video clips every other week or every other month. And him and his friends decide to, you know, drive across the country to try and intercept the tape. And yeah, it's really funny. Really enjoy this one. Tom Green is just doing what Tom Green does best. He's kind of this insane genius when it comes to comedy. Everything he does is in bad taste, and yeah, he's just hilarious in this. And Sean William Scott is kind of like a dialed down Stifler in this film, but yeah, I really enjoy it nonetheless. So yeah, I have a really, really fun time at this one. So yeah, that is my number 8 pick, Road Trip. So coming in at number 7 for me, we have Battle Royale. This is a Japanese movie with an absolute amazing concept. I'm really surprised that America hasn't got its mitts on this to redo an American version of it, and thank God they haven't, because this is just a brilliant, unique concept. Pretty much the population is going out of control, and in order to try and control it, school students annually are put on an island, and basically you have to kill each other until there's only one left. You know, it's come to this because children don't have appreciation for adults anymore, so this is what the adults have decided to do. And this movie is really, really creative with its kills, and this whole, just this concept of this movie, I just absolutely love the execution of it. It's brilliant, it's scary, it's terrifying, it's violent. It really lets loose on, you know, character study in this film. People do things that they just didn't expect to do. Some people are reserved, they don't want to take part. Others are really relishing the thought of what they've got to do and are absolutely up for it. They're terrifying when it comes to this movie. It just shows people's true colours, and it is just a brilliant, well executed movie. I can't stress that enough. Balls to the walls, violent, really awesome stuff. And they also have these collars on, and if they're in certain areas of the island, or if they don't want to compete, the collars will explode. So there's that to deal with as well. But yeah, really, really love the whole premise to this movie. So yeah, that is my next pick, Battle Royale. So coming in at number 6 for me, we have Bryan Singer's X-Men. I loved the cartoon of the 90s growing up. It was a staple of Saturday morning TV for me. And then to find out they were doing a live action movie, I was there, but there was only one problem. I was too young to see the movie. And this was the first time I actually went to try and get into the cinema and was turned down because of my age. A week later, I tried again, and I was successful. I was 10 years old when this movie came out. It was at 12. And I was allowed in, went to go and see it, and I had an absolute ball with it. The movie is just great. It has a great concept, great villain, great dynamic between the two opposing leads in this, with Patrick Stewart's Charles Xavier and Ian McKellen's Magneto. Two great leaders who believe that, what they believe in is right, although they do have, different ideologies. It's just amazing. It's just a lot of fun as well. It's great to see these characters with their different mutant abilities. And yeah, it's just an all-round great film. Really, really love the designs of this, the characters we've got here, the costumes. Yeah, just a really, really good, solid comic book movie. Really enjoyed it. Like I said, I love the cartoon and I love the movie as well. I thought this movie really went in a great direction that I could follow. So yeah, that is my next pick for me, X-Men. So coming in at number 5 for me, we have Ridley Scott's Gladiator. This is the movie that won Best Picture. It won Russell Crowe Best Actor as well. I think it won Best Director for Ridley Scott. But yeah, it's just a gorgeous looking movie. The issue I have with it is the story. It's kind of a story that's been done to death in other movies so many times. It's the Moses story that we're all familiar with. But yeah, it's just got a great premise to it, and it looks amazing. It does execute that recycled story very well, in my opinion. But yeah, Russell Crowe, it's one of his best performances. He's great in it as Maximus. Joaquin Phoenix is just another villain you love to hate as Commodus. And yeah, it's just so quotable. The movie looks gorgeous. It's just so well lit. The Gladiator scenes themselves are just brutal and graphic. And yeah, it has an absolutely heartbreaking ending. It's heartwarming and heartbreaking all at the same time. And yeah, Maximus is just an absolute character you absolutely root for in this film. But yeah, gorgeous looking movie. So yeah, that is my number 5 choice, Gladiator. So just missing out on the podium places for me, coming in at 4th place is Amorous Paris, which is a South American film. I believe the movie's title translates to Life's a Bitch. But yeah, this is a great South American movie. It pretty much follows 3 different people whose lives are very, very much brought together by this car crash. 3 very different people as well. The build-up leading to this car crash is absolutely phenomenal. I can't really oversell this movie enough. If you've not seen it, it is so worth your time. But what got me about this film was the movie's ending. Obviously the events that happen in this movie, without going into spoilers or, you know, divulging too much about the plot. I didn't know anything about this movie's ending, didn't know anything about the movie going into it, and the ending just blew me away. If you watch the movie, you can probably guess where the movie's going, you can probably guess where it's heading with its ending, but for me personally, it really caught me off guard. And it was all the more power to the movie for doing so. It left me speechless. And like I said, you probably should have seen it coming. But for me, I just didn't. And it was just absolutely brilliant. Really, really took me by surprise, this one. So yeah, I can't recommend this one enough. If you've not seen it, check this one out. It's really, really worth your time. The acting in it is absolutely phenomenal. It's brutal at times, and yeah, it's just great to see these 3 different characters from 3 different backgrounds brought together by this car crash, and the ending is just absolutely heartbreaking, but it makes complete sense. And yeah, the reality of it just kicks in and pulls the rug from under your feet with this film. So yeah, check this one out if you've not seen it. So that is my number 4 choice, Amorous Paris. So coming in at number 3 for me, taking the bronze medal, is Christian Bale in American Psycho. Yeah, I was really, really taken by The Dark Knight when it came out. Really, really enjoyed that film. And friends of mine at the time said, oh, you've got to check out American Psycho. It's a great Christian Bale film. So yeah, I thought, you know what, I haven't seen many films with him in. I'll check American Psycho out. And yeah, the movie just didn't disappoint. I absolutely loved it. Just thought it was great as this, you know, Christian Bale as Patrick Bateman, this businessman who is kind of fucked up in the head, and it just leads to him doing some absolutely grotesque and insane, batshit crazy stuff in this movie, still while maintaining this clean-cut persona to him. It's just great, absolutely fantastic movie with a great supporting cast as well. Jared Leto, Willem Dafoe, Reese Witherspoon. Yeah, really, really awesome, terrifying movie. And again, another ending which kind of leaves you feeling a little bit ambiguous as to what's going on. And it leaves you with a couple of questions. But yeah, it's just a fantastic, fantastic movie, this one. So yeah, that is my number 3 pick, American Psycho. So coming in at number 2 for me, taking the silver medal, is Cameron Crowe's Almost Famous. Yeah, this pretty much follows the fictional band of Stillwater. Yeah, this is just an absolute great rock and roll movie set in the 70s. Following this kid who, you know, his sister leaves him all these vinyl records, and she says, listen to them, they'll set you free, they'll completely change your life. And he ends up wanting to become a musical journalist, following the band Stillwater on a tour that they're doing. And he ends up obviously meeting Penny Lane, played by Kate Hudson, who is what she calls herself, a band-aid, someone who is a fan of the band, who follows them. And that's it. That's the story. It's the journey he goes on, traveling with the band from state to state, hotel to hotel. And I just absolutely love the movie. It's just great. Philip Seymour Hoffman, kind of as his sort of his mentor in the movie, even though he has little screen time, is great as well. It's just an all-round great looking movie, great soundtrack, great scenes in this. I love it on when the band are on the bus and they're all singing Tiny Dancer. I love it when they're on the plane and they all think they're about to die, so they all like spill their guts and confess everything. It's just an all-round great, well-made movie. Like I said, amazing soundtrack, one of my favourite Cameron Crowe movies, and it's flawless in my opinion. I just absolutely love it. Ticks so many boxes that I look for when watching a film. So yeah, coming in at number 2 for me, just missing out on the gold medal, is Almost Famous. So coming in at number 1 for me, taking the gold medal, is Stephen Frears' High Fidelity. I was on a really huge sort of John Cusack kick first time I watched this film, and this movie did not disappoint me. It blew me away. I didn't know what to expect, knew nothing about it. And yeah, it pretty much follows this guy played by John Cusack, and he talks about his top 5 things that happen in his life, top 5 breakups, top 5 favourite songs. And he works at this record store, and it's just so great to see a movie like this with an amazing cast, amazing set of characters. Obviously you've got Tim Robbins, Jack Black, Catherine Zeta-Jones in this movie, and it's just great to see people in this movie talk about why they love music as opposed to what music they love. It's all about the why. What makes us like music, what makes us dislike music. It just makes for such a more interesting conversation and more interesting viewing for me. It's just wonderful. Jack Black is great in this film. He's hilarious in it. He can be a bit annoying, but he never bothered me in this movie. He's just firing at all pistons. He's great in this film. But yeah, I just love that setting of this record store as well. As John Cusack takes us through his top 5 breakups that he ever had. Just absolutely wonderful. Really awesome, well executed movie. Another movie with an amazing soundtrack, wonderfully directed. Yeah, just a home run of a film for me. I absolutely adore this one. So yeah, there's a scene in this movie as well that's super bad, completely ripped off. If you've seen the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it is just an absolutely great film. Can't stress that enough. So yeah, if you're into your vinyls as well, check this movie out. It's just a joy to watch. So yeah, from 2000, this is my number 1 pick and my favourite film of that year, High Fidelity. So yeah, those are all of my top 15 favourite movies from the year 2000, guys. I'm going to leave the video there and say thanks very much for watching. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.